Hi, welcome to VHAP Online. Today we're measuring oxygen saturation in your blood. So this is really important because what it does is it measures the amount of oxygen that's currently in your bloodstream as a percentage. And if this percentage is below 85, then there is some cause for concern. The little machine here is a pulse oximeter, which are readily available from most chemists.
Alright, so we're going to go through how to use a pulse oximeter. So patients that would usually use a pulse oximeter are those with cardiovascular diseases, pulmonary conditions, or those that have an extremely poor or an average level of fitness where oxygen is a big factor in how they will be able to do their exercise or complete an exercise activity. So usually prior to a session, what we'll do is we'll slip the finger in, we'll press the button and the pulse oximeter will turn on. It'll take a little bit for the infrared light to pick up your oxygen saturation in your blood. So you'll see, first off it'll come through and it'll say 99%. So this number on the left, the SpO2, it just means the saturation percentage of your oxygen. So it'll have 99, which is good. You'll very rarely get 100%. And then on the right here, you'll have your pulse rate, which is just beats per minute. And there is different settings on every pulse oximeter, like the one down the bottom here is showing my heart rate. But what I look for when I have patients is I want it above around about 98% or better, so 98 or 99. That gives me a good confidence that that person is going to be able to complete exercise without any difficulty of lacking oxygen partway through an exercise. Is prior to exercise if the person is over 85%. So this has to be over 85% for them to start exercise. If I get someone and they're below 90 but they're still above 85, we might start exercise but very incidentally. So we might just start off very light walking on the treadmill or somewhere stationary, such as like a recumbent bike, but I wouldn't get them to do big gross motor skills such as a rowing machine, or I might not even get that person to start exercise in an upright position. So if they start walking on a treadmill with an O2 sat of 85 or 90%, they're more likely to feel very lightheaded, and that's a far way for them to fall. So something stationary like a recumbent bike or just a seated bike, or even if we get them sitting there and doing an arm ergo, it's much more safer for the client. They might not get as much benefit out of the exercise as per se like a treadmill or a rowing machine or that of a seated bike, but they're still going to be able to complete an exercise for a more sustained time because they're going to be in a safer position and they're going to be able to complete more duration on that exercise. Whereas if they put more energy into a treadmill, to a walking, they're not going to drop as much in their O2 sats. So usually there's a period before you start exercising where your O2 stats might be low. Then after a sustained amount of exercise for about 2 to 3 minutes, their O2 stats will pick up, and that's where we know that exercise and oxygen is being transported around the body. Every muscle is getting the oxygen that it needs, and the debt of oxygen will slowly decrease. So they become more oxygenated. The blood and the heart is pumping around the blood. So you'll find that they may even pick up their exercise tolerance halfway through a session, where their stats might go from 90 and might come up to a safe exercise range as 98. But if their O2 stats start to drop too much, that's when we have to stop exercise. We have to look at why it's doing that. Do they feel lightheaded? We might pull out a Borg scale and we might say where we're sitting on this. We just need to have a look more into why it's happening, not so much as, well, it's happened, we have to stop. We want to know why, because this will become a future concern if we're going to do more exercise or they're wanting to work towards a better health outcome.